Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Got Something For Ya. Today, as you can see, Ollie and I are joined by a very special guest from Survivor 49. Sophie Segreti is here with us to recap episode 3. Sophie, how are you doing? How are you enjoying the season so far?
I'm doing great, but it is funny. It's weird to watch and not know what happens. Like the benefit of having been on the show is before every episode, like I know the big strokes. And so it's been so fun to watch and not know what happens. But I'm falling for these producers' damn tricks. And
Still?
yes, I was like watching, we'll get into it, but I find like they are good at what they do. I'm going into tribal like, fuck, I don't really know if I know exactly who it's gonna be. But it's great to be on this side of it. And it's fun to not be worried, like, am I gonna look like an idiot today? Or am I gonna say something that's gonna, ignite a Reddit thread? But yeah, all good. And like loving Survivor 50.
I was
Kicking
I
off
was
the
going to say,
ring.
Sophie, no one's talked about fruit yet, so I think you're all safe
I
on
think
this
we're
season
good.
so
Well,
far.
it's
Yeah.
because I think they were like, let's pull out all the stops for 50 and give them 3 fucking chickens. Episode 3. Are you kidding? Like, I don't know what our third episode reward was, but I don't think we got food that early. Like, I think we were in the trenches getting like a hammer.
You know, hammers are useful too, but I'm with you. When they gave that platter of fruit to all of you, I was like, and no, not for me.
It's really funny because I think that is like still to this day, I'll occasionally get a DM about it. And I want to be like, have you eaten today? And if so, tell me, because I would bet not a lot of fruit there, probably a lot of carbs, probably a lot of protein. Like, oh, you would have thought that like everybody works for like big fruit the way I was like coming for them. Like, I love fruit. And that's okay. That's the thing that pisses me off the most about the comments. Cause what wasn't shown was that I actually ate like I ate the whole buffalo of the fruit reward. Like I ate the banana peels, I ate the orange peels, I like anything people discarded I would eat. And so like a little bit garbage disposal, but like she was hungry. So look, one thing about me, I'll put my money where my mouth is. Maybe I'll like bitch about your fruit reward, but then I'll eat all of it in its
Love.
entirety.
You did what you needed to do, right? The food was there. You're going to
Yeah.
take it. You also have some love from a former player as well. Bruce is in
Oh.
the chat, loving your
Oh my
takes.
god.
Already.
I know Bruce too would have not stood for such a fruit reward.
Well,
Demanded more.
and I think Bruce also just very nicely demonstrated that our live chat is also open. So if you are one of the people who are watching this live stream, please feel free to insert your thoughts there. And we're all going to have a really fun discussion today. Let's start because we got a lot to talk about, especially because this episode with the tribe swap, very exciting. How did we like the announcement?
It started with season 40 for me when Jeff said, like, a drink before war is always a good idea, and like did a poor man's Tyrion Lannister. And I remember like this was COVID. I'm like at home with my entire family, and we were all like, oh no. Oh no, Jeff, what are you doing? Like, you were so cool. Why are you doing this to us? And we've had glimpses of this type of behavior since then, but I am not pro wacky Jeff. I don't know. I think a spoken rap in that kind of beat poetry cadence is never cool in Survivor, coming from like a 50-plus-year-old white man, but that is just how I feel.
I literally heard the first bar and I think I just went mute. I was like, I'm gonna wait until I see some buffs come out. I was like, no, I didn't like fried chicken and waffles, and I certainly don't like the swap wrap. I'm so sorry, Jeffrey. It's a no. No Grammy nominations are coming your way. I'm so sorry about it.
Yeah, I would like to know whose idea this was. I'm sure, I'd like to know who wrote this, who dedicated the resources to spending time doing this.
Jeff, and Jeff.
Yeah, well,
It just, you know what it is? It just gives you the ick. And like, we can chat all we want about new era Survivor. There are aspects of it that are, a little ick giving. And like Jeff has been kind of a stalwart of like, yeah, just like the good of the show, and he's an amazing host. And then occasionally he'll give you the ick, and I'm like, it's tough that like I'm so in love with this show that I will in fact keep watching. And maybe he knows. Maybe that's exactly what it is. He knows that we are all like going to keep watching, and he's just going to keep pushing those boundaries and see if it'll affect viewership. And I think unfortunately for all of us, it won't.
He's just trying to figure out at this point at where is the drop off point? Where is it that I've taken a step too far?
Yeah, yes. we're just being enablers. And you know what I also found to be ick was the fact that there was some snapping off beat, and that really frustrated me. Even though the sound design sort of disguised it a little bit, the visuals did not.
I was like, we had some like, off beat. I also, it's funny because like I was thinking of like, I don't know if I would have been able to hide my facial expressions. And most of the cast was doing a pretty good job of looking like pleasantly intrigued by what was going on. And I think a few people on my season might have had difficulty hiding how they feel. I would love to have seen Sage's face. I feel like Sage would have just like,
oh my God.
like really like let Jeff have it, and I would pay money to see that.
I know Rizzo was there, and this is something that seems right up Rizzo's alley, but how do you think Savannah would have enjoyed this?
I think Savannah would have had like kind of like a like kind of like a frozen smile where she's not trying to be overtly like disgusted, but she is, and she's like looking right and left, like trying to take cues from people around her. And then also because like Savannah, like me, was a huge competitor. And I think she like at this stage, you're like kind of trying to get like, you're like kind of looking at the challenge and like get in the zone. And so I feel like either she would have been doing that or completely ignoring Jeff and just like trying to figure out like, okay, what are they about to have us do? And how do I win?
Honestly, I'd probably be the same way. We're going to move on from the rap now. It's definitely one of those notable topics. But, Dua Idol in the chat says the rap was wrong on so many levels. I agree with you there. Bruce walked out of the room. You know what?
Yep.
I wish I could too, but I would have missed this moment between Christian and Emily, which was so much fun. So as we all know, earlier in the episode, before they arrived at the beach, Christian and everyone they were telling everyone that Aubrey had the idol, and that was going to keep them tight at the tribe swap. But they didn't have time to tell Emily about this. So last minute, right here, he decides to tell her. And you could tell as a viewer, it flustered her a little bit. She did a double take of like, am I hearing this correctly? What's going on? I'm just grateful to both of them that they ended up on the same tribe to talk this out.
What's funny to me is I like read it fully the opposite. Like Emily was really offended by it. And to me, I was like, this is kind of like a high visibility situation. Like it is very obvious to like Joe and like kind of everyone standing around them that Christian is whispering to Emily. Like he is putting his neck on his line to tell her this crucial bit of information before they leave. And like, if I was Emily, I would be like, oh my God, like he is truly showing me that he is with me. And she just did not take it that way at all. She was so upset with him. And I didn't like, from my perspective, I was like, girl, Christian stuck his neck out and you cut him. Like, what you doing? He's really showing himself as your number one right here.
Yeah, I feel like in that moment, I can kind of understand where Emily's coming from, because I would have like in the sense of like being caught off guard. I would have been like, okay, I've just been given this valuable piece of information. I've got to act cool. But I do agree. I feel like afterwards she didn't handle it right. But I think I think you're right, Matthew. The fact that they did end up on the same tribe, that's where she got so lucky. Because if they didn't, I think she would have spiraled and it just would not have ended well.
I mean, we saw she told literally everybody about all of the things. And so if she was on another tribe, she would have done the exact same thing
Yep.
and then had no opportunity for damage control with Christian.
Yeah,
Which,
I'm with Sophie. It's like this thing where, especially with, I think that if they weren't as close of allies, I could understand why she was thrown off to the point of being like, is this sabotage? But the fact that they were working so closely together, I'm like, all right, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And, you know, they do land on the same tribes. What do we all think of this tribe swap, this switch?
It made me laugh because we have like some pretty obvious groups. We have the Mike White. We have White Lotus.
Yes.
Cameo stars up in the upper left or whatever. I don't know if people's computers are flipped, but we've got that group. Then we have like, oh my God, from my perspective, gag, honor, and integrity at the bottom. Like when I saw it was Coach, Colby, and Joe together, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
And then like smart women. So can't wait to see how that unfolds. And then the upper right is a little bit of like, I feel like there's going to be some good drama there because we got a lot of clashing personalities. So that was kind of my read. I was like, this is setting up for just a lot of fun interpersonal drama. And so I was thrilled with the tribe swap situation.
Yeah, Ollie, Sophie mentioned honor and integrity. I mean, what do you think? Are you going to be fast forwarding through these scenes also? No, you.
No, I'm going to be watching them and being so mad at it and having a reason to moan. It was when Coach was sat there and was like, this man, honor and integrity, these are pillars of my survivor journey. Sorry, what did you do? Episode 1? Oh, yeah. Yeah. So honorable, mate. Yeah, I'm just, you already know, Matthew. I didn't like it in 48. I'm not going to like it here.
Oh, man.
I agree. Wait, so Matthew, are you pro the honor and integrity trio?
Not at all, but I have to be like a conflicting
You
voice.
have to be a steward. You got a devil's advocate us.
It's because he knows I'm not going to.
I will say, like, I am fascinated to see how this, like, if it was just them and then maybe some, like, I can't off the top of my head think of other players this season who would kind of be sappy along with it. But the fact that like we have them and then we have like Aubrey and Genevieve and Tiff and Chrissy, like I feel like we're going to get some clashes of these two things. And like hopefully unlike 48, the honor and integrity won't will out towards the end. So that's the only saving grace of this, but I agree. I might be rolling my eyes through this section, although it is just really funny to just see Coach and Colby back on my screen. Like just as a fan, I feel like I know them and their style of play so well that like watching them back on my screen so many years later is just a fun little walk down memory lane.
What do you think, friend or foe, if you were on that beach for both of them?
You know what's funny is I do think I could cosplay as friend to this and be like, oh, I care about competing and winning out and like I don't want to lie. And like I feel like I feel like hung enough with bros that I could kind of try there, but it would be really difficult and I would much rather gravitate towards the other half of the tribe. Like that's who I'm more similar to, but also like those are the people I'm worried about. So actually maybe I would go full honor and integrity and like throw in a third pillar that really matters and then get like, you know, Genevieve and Aubrey out because that's who I'm worried about.
I mean, you know, this group would, if they were going to turn on you, have a very difficult time doing it. So that's a plus, I guess. Kimberly in the chat says, hi all. Hi, Kimberly. Thanks for joining and sending a message. And also we have Roy Jolly saying honor and integrity is great for Jeopardy. And so you can see that they also try, a coach especially is like, hey, Chrissy, we're all around the same age. Like I'd love to, work with her. And then gives advice on how you're doing too much at the last beach. You need to be quiet.
I will be the first to admit that we live in a little bit of like too much of like a feedbackless culture. And like, I think in a lot of areas of my life, I would benefit, or like people, friends, family, people I'm dating would benefit from like a little bit of like, yo, that wasn't cool. The asterisk is Survivor, where like it is all about relationships. There is not enough time for you to do proper damage control. Like, they could swap again tomorrow and Chrissy will forever be like, screw you, coach. So I just thought this was like really ill advised so early, and also came off as like the most mansplainy ever. And I didn't really think that Chrissy was that much of a liability on her on the last beach. But I'm curious, like I feel like, yeah, I don't know. She wasn't giving what we saw later from Emily. So I don't really know why Coach was so intent on getting her to shut up.
The
Ollie's
intention, the
like,
intention was there. I
yeah,
understand his intention, but my God, did he do it all wrong? The execution was so bad.
yeah,
Like, I understand what he's saying. Like, hey, just a heads up. This is what, like, this is how you were perceived on the previous tribe.
right.
That I would understand. But to sit there and go, hey, no, stop this. Like, it's to settle down, stop chirping. Like, I would have been like, sorry, stop chirping. I'd be like,
Yeah.
go do your Tai Chi in the jungle then, mate. Go away. Like, and I feel like everyone has kind of mentioned this. Like, it is the irony is, like, in Heroes versus Villains, he was Chrissy. He was Chrissy in that moment, and Tyson was Coach. But yeah, I completely get his intentions, because you want to, like, I feel like he was proving to Chrissy like he wanted to work with her.
Right.
But my God, did he say it bad?
Yeah, it's
My
like
God.
an intent versus impact sort of
Yes.
thing. Agreed, did not handle it well. Roy is also like, Ollie, say it, you know, and Russell Muscle TV. Great to see you. Thank you for being on the podcast during our live shows this past week. 100% the execution was rough. But listen, here, I do have the question of, well, actually, I'll just say my opinion here. It looked like that this actually almost was like a good thing for Chrissy to experience. No, I mean, not the actual moment, but the aftermath. Right. It gave her a chance to be vulnerable in front of Aubrey and Genevieve. And it almost did seem like the way she spoke about it in her confessional that she was appreciative to have the knowledge now.
I think you're right. I think she was appreciative to have the knowledge. I also think it maybe opened her eyes that she shouldn't just go along with the old guard just because that's who she's comfortable with. And I feel like it, is giving her an opportunity to maybe play both sides of this tribe, which would be so cool to see. So I'm hoping that, this is like a better in the long run, painful today type of situation for Chrissy.
Totally. And yeah, I think it was a great like story arc. This is one of the things from the episodes that I definitely remember. And as a viewer, it makes me appreciate Chrissy all the more. Yeah. So we then, we're going to jump to this next tribe to see how all of our friends are doing. I forgot the tribe names. I'm so sorry, everyone.
I do too. Don't worry.
This is Sela.
Thanks, Ollie. But right off the bat, Dee and Jonathan are like, hey, we're on a tribe with Cirie. You probably should get Cirie out now, right? I mean, I want to talk to both of you about like, fan me. I want Cirie on my television always. In game me, I would love to say like, yes, I'm going to work with Cirie, but I can't be, I don't know, because she is so incredible. So what do you two think?
It's tough because I feel like I fully fall on the side of like where Dee is today, where I would be like, okay, I want Cirie on my side. I also want Cirie to like me. And I want the fan in me, I just want, I want her around as long as possible. She would make for such great TV, blah, blah, blah. I actually don't know. Had she won Survivor Australia at this point? No. Okay, that happens after.
Cirie also did not win
Oh, she
Australian
did not win.
Survivor.
It was par. Oh
Mhm.
God. Uh-oh. I've outed myself that I didn't pay for whatever I needed to watch it.
Oh, you mean you
But,
didn't get a VPN and go through all the hoops to?
oh, I'm the least technologically savvy person for working in tech, I think. But I will say that like I would be trying to get her out. Like it is just, and I think Dee even says it, like you see it. She is like charismatic. She's putting people under her spell. And also her manner of play is so relatively low key. I feel like she kind of draws you in and you don't even know it. And yeah, those are the people I think you just have to be extremely careful with because yeah, there's not going to be a big, oh my God, they wronged me. I need to get them out. Like you just, yeah, I think unfortunately for us viewers, they should really try to get Cirie out as soon as possible.
Cirie could blindside me, vote me out 6 times, throw me in the fire, and I'd say thank you. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh, Ollie.
I would, and this is the thing. Like, I know if I ever played, I would be strategic and I would like keep everyone at an arm's length. Not Cirie. I'd be like, girl, I'm gonna keep like whatever you need. I will do for you. Who do you want me to vote? Who do you want me to go? You want me to go yell at coach? Absolutely. Absolutely. You want me to go fight all the honor integrity people? Okay, I'm on it.
I'm there.
Like, I can't. I feel that is just fully would be me. But I do get what they're going for. It's just I can't do it. And I do hope that Dee's friend Mel is safe because I know that she name dropped her and I was like, oh girl. Everyone's going to be looking for all the Toxic Survivor fans going to be looking through your Instagram going, right, Mel. Who's Mel? I did find her.
Ollie, you don't endorse.
I wanted to make sure she was okay. And I can confirm she is okay.
Please, you wanted to try to find her to see if you could find her. Anyway, so before we move on, we're going to revisit this tribe again. Kara wants to laugh at you. And I like what Roy Jolly says here. Cirie has lost several times. Dee won once. Who's the real threat? It's a great question. And also a question that maybe Jonathan should be asking. But also we have M. Smith M. Thank you for leaving a comment. Just dropping by to say I absolutely love Sophie Segreti, who was easily the most underrated player of season 49. And I hope we get to see her play again.
Oh, thanks, M. Smith 89. I also want to play again.
How do you think you're like, are you ready to go back like right now?
No, my God, no. I do not know how Rizzo and Savannah did it, to be honest. Like, I mean, Rizzo looks a skeleton. Like he does not look physically well. But I'm not gonna lie, like eating is amazing. Starving is really horrible. And we actually, this episode is occurring. There's like I think like 5 to 7 days in is when the hunger is at its worst. And then your body kind of hits a state of ketosis and it's not as bad. But like Mike White, like everyone is talking about just how miserable it is at this phase. And watching that, I was like, it's too soon. I immediately know where I was that day in my season and it's awful. And like, I am not ready to starve again. I really don't want to. So she's not ready yet.
Well, when you are ready, we'll be excited to see you back on. We're going to jump over to this next tribe. I got to say, I love Q. I love Q so much. I think I'm really upset, but we'll get there. But Q used this an opportunity to inform Ozzy that he is aware that Genevieve gifted Ozzy the idol, which I do like seeing like this multi-level of what this Boomerang idol, I refuse to call it the Billie Eilish, what the Boomerang idol is sort of able to like, look, it's forming alliances, it's helping people, it's outing people's games, it's fun. But yeah, I like the idea of both of these people working together.
I will say I'm a huge Q fan. also devastated. Like, I mean, he is just such great TV, so funny
So
and
funny.
effortlessly so, and a style of humor that we don't often get on Survivor, which I love. But I agree, the blank Boomerang idol, because I also am like, it's like the college Rose Bowl, like we're just like throwing brands and people in. Like, we do not need that here. But it's been real. Like, I'm almost surprised that they haven't done more of this. Because we saw, like, I think in some of those like extinction, or like when you left, you could like give some gifts an idol or gift your token.
The
Like, we've
fire
seen
token thing. Yep.
Right. We've seen some gifting of things, but this Boomerang idol, like, especially after the swap, I was like, okay, wait, who is where and who doesn't have a vote and where are the idols and who knows? Like, it's been so fun. Um, and also, yeah, I feel like Ozzy and Q make for like a funny duo of potentially working together. Although I do want to go on record saying that I hate Ozzy's hair so much. I hate it. They're like, Colby's aged great, Chrissy looks great, Stephanie looks great. Like, there are a lot of the older guard look amazing. Ozzy, fix your hair.
I
No,
do love
but
that it felt like you had a mission to come on here today to say that.
Yeah, I just was like, there were so many times watching, I was like, if we just like snip snap, it would be so great.
No, but Sophie, he's celebrating Survivor by coming on to 50 and looking like Shambo from Samoa. Like, that's what he's doing. Like,
you know what? You're right. That is what he's doing, but I'm missing the Ozzy of like Cook Islands that I was obsessed with as a child.
I do want to answer this question before we talk about the Emily of it all.
Mm.
But will the Boomerang idol, thanks Jay for this question, will the Boomerang idol become a staple of Survivor going forward? Me, I'll just say staple, no, but I do see it coming back for at least 1 or 2 more seasons.
I agree. I feel like they love to keep us on our toes. And so for sure, 51 will probably not have a Boomerang idol, and maybe not even 52, but like we will see it again.
I think the only way it becomes a staple is if it is called the Billie Eilish Pirate Bird O'Connell Boomerang Idol.
I bet Billie Eilish doesn't even know that she did. Like, it was probably through her people. They were like, okay, yeah. Why not? And that's what Roy says. To my knowledge, Billie hasn't posted or commented anything about the idol. Does she even know it's on Survivor? Roy, that's what I'm saying. And Ollie, I know you're going to tell me what Jeff said.
Yep, because we all know that I scour social media. So the backstory is that they approached Billie because they knew Billie was a big fan. They sent her a load of ideas for the idols, and Billie picked this one. So she is aware that this is the one that they picked. Whether or not she's watched it, we don't know. But
right.
I'd also say it probably goes through a lot of people before it actually reaches Billie. And then same thing going back to that in that direction. All right. But I want to talk about my queen, Emily Flippin, my financial analyst, if I ever needed one. I was so concerned during this I was so tense during this whole thing, especially once she starts spilling about Christian.
Oh my God.
Okay. This is like level 1 of Emily right now. So the initial, let's talk about the initial knee-jerk reaction to inform these two about Aubrey's idol.
So at first, I was like, okay, she gets on this beach, she sees the White Lotus contingent, and she's like, I'm on the outs, let me flip on them and give Q and Ozzy and like ingratiate myself with them. So like at one point you're like, okay, I see why she could maybe be doing that. And then from there, I have no words. I don't understand why she went from there. But at like this first move, I was like, oh, okay. She thinks she's going to be on the outs with that crew. So she's trying to go with these others. And it would be 4-2. Is there somebody else? Oh,
4-3.
4-3. Because I guess Stephanie is the swing vote. Maybe.
Well, yeah, you've got on this side, technically, you've got Ozzy, Q, Emily, Stephanie, and then it's the other side that are Christian, Mike White, Angelina, and I think maybe they're looking at Christian, but maybe not Mike White. It wasn't really made apparent here.
Right. So I think she's like she's like, I feel like this is where the numbers are. This is where my bread is buttered. Let's stay there. And so that was my read on move 1.
Yes.
Moves 2 through 8 TBD.
2 through 8. Ollie, I'm gonna say, Sophie, I agree with you, because I know it looks harsh, and I know it is a harsh move to be like, oh, these people I've been working with for weeks 1 through 2 or whatever. I'm gonna turn on them now, right? Like, let's just call this what it is. But sorry, I would say that Emily doing this to secure her spot in a larger alliance, I'm with you. I understand that. Was I heartbroken because I knew that Christian had all the right intentions? Yes, but things happen and things are unpredictable, and that's how Emily took it. Ollie, did you feel similarly, or were you like, this is terrible?
No, I felt similarly. I just needed her to take a breath. I feel like had she taken a breath like she did later on in the episode, then she would have come to her senses, which we see her do in the next slide. But yeah, at this moment, I was like, go take a breath.
Let's move on to level 2. So this conversation, which actually, again, something else that I don't necessarily think was terrible for how she was able to connect with Angelina here. Also, real quick, Roy Jolly, I have no idea what Clock Tower is, but if you can please share. Ollie knows. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, so this conversation with Angelina and Emily, I actually really liked. I thought this was beautiful. Again, maybe Emily spilling more information than she should, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, level 2, Sophie.
Level 2, because it's funny. I feel like both Angelina and Emily talk about not wanting to be the players of their original season. And I think this is a theme that we're seeing, people either being like, I am going to stay true to who I was, or like, that shit didn't work, let's try something new. And I think for both Angelina and Emily, where they felt like in their first round, they were not like, they weren't the most charismatic, personable. So like they neither of them really had tons of offers for alliances. And so my read on this was, great intentions, great to connect, but hold your cards. Like, don't give away all your cards so early. Like, this is Survivor, Emily. Like, build this bridge with Angelina, and then maybe later on say what you have. But like, I think she could have gotten almost as much out of this conversation had they just had that like frank, like, yo, I'm also feeling this way. Like, you can build connection with people without having to reveal all of the things that you have.
What are you talking about? When I met Ollie, I told him all of my deepest, darkest secrets. And that's why to this day, we're talking.
Yeah. You know what? You're right. Maybe this is why maybe this is a flaw in me and my game, is that I'm like, I'm going to keep a little guarded. I don't trust you yet. Maybe these are my own trust issues, but my view on it, I was like, Emily, girl, don't give it all away for free, baby.
What? No, because the best thing about it is we're similar in that, Sophie, because now I have all the blackmail on Matthew, so you can't do nothing about it. So it's great. I loved this, but it's mainly just because I'm an Angelina stan. I will stan mother until the day I die. So when I was like, yes, give Angelina the tea so she can be fully aware, I was like, go for it. Could it screw your game up, Emily? Yeah, that's fine. But if it helps Angelina out, I'm fine with it.
What's so funny is that although I sort of saw this gameplay as chaotic, and this, I think people might disagree with me here, I still think that telling Christian was the best thing for her to do. I do.
I do.
I guess I agree, because like it would have gotten back to him, because she's told every other person on the beach. And so I think she did need to tell him. I also think I would severely question Emily if she didn't have a moment of like, oh my God. Yeah, like I just really screwed up his game. Yeah. And if she didn't at least acknowledge that in a confessional, like I was going to really question her her ability to think critically. So yeah, glad that she realized that this was, maybe the most chaotic of gameplays that we've seen in 50. But I do kind of agree, like, because she dug herself in such a deep hole, kind of the only way to get out was to like dig deeper. And
Yeah.
it worked, which is crazy.
Yeah, she came out the other end.
Well,
Part of me is wondering. Oh, I'm sorry, Allie, but I was gonna say part of me is wondering if it's because last season she was like analytical and practical to a fault. None of these other people are expecting her to be so messy. And so, yeah, maybe it's really only us as the viewers who are like, yo, Emily is going queen mess right here.
But I mean, I'm not gonna like Roy Jolly just put it in the chat, and I feel like it is very true. Like it has kind of put her under the radar, like made her look a certain way and make people maybe underestimate her now. But this for me is what happens when you do take a breath. And I feel like that's what she finally did. She finally took the breath and went, oh, I realized what I've done wrong here. Okay, let me correct it. But by doing that, I think she went straight away to Christian and was honest, which I think was good. And I think Christian will always appreciate that. And I think he's now maybe got the perception that, oh, maybe I can't give Emily all the information, but he's not like, it seems as though anyway, he's not like distrusted her or anything. So, hey, it worked for her. Good on her.
Yeah, and listen, Christian, I think the whole thing with it's my train of thought so bad. But listen, Christian and Emily, I think is a great duo. I'm glad that this sort of, here's what I was going to say. They're able to now, now that this has all happened, they re-strategize and move forward from there, right? Like it's a hiccup, but it's not, I don't think this is detrimental to either of them if they don't allow it to be. So I'm hoping that they can pull through. Next, we have another person who is scaring me with their strategy, and that is Genevieve, who is saying, here, I'm going to change up my social game by going to everyone and telling them that I want Aubrey out.
I think my view is that, especially post, I think, was it like episode 1 where Aubrey and Genevieve had like quite a weird moment.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh God, like that just seems so awkward. And it seems like it went like in a really strange way. I also was confused by this, especially from someone like Genevieve, who I think what she did so well in her season was really kind of driving from the back seat. And this seems like she was very much so trying to put herself in the driver's seat. And I also feel like on this tribe with our honor and integrity folks, I would just be I would have been a little bit more wary of coming across so like, oh, I'm gunning for Aubrey. Cause it's hard for me to understand what a Colby coach or Joe is going to do. But I'm really enjoying the Genevieve Aubrey beef from the couch. This is a fun drama between like two women who I'm sure have had some like really awkward beach conversations and are continuing to.
Yeah, I feel like the fatal flaw with Genevieve's plan here was just assuming every single other person on the beach is going to be there for it and like is going to be on side with it. Had she just maybe told Colby, Coach, and Joe, I could have seen it being like fine for her. The fact that she did go and just tell everyone, she did run the risk of someone going back to Aubrey, which Tiffany did. Because let's be fair, this is why I love my girl Tiff. She ain't got time for any of that honor and integrity BS. If you're going for someone that she likes, she's gonna make sure that that person's aware of it. So I appreciate it.
I think we also I felt bad because Genevieve wouldn't have known this, but like this is sort of the trap that Jenna, found herself in episode 1. So
yeah,
I'm nervous for you, Genevieve, and I love you so much. So that's scary. But like you said, Ollie, Tiffany is like, I like her. I like Aubrey. So she lets Aubrey know that Genevieve's been saying her name, and Aubrey's like, I'm not surprised. She's like, I am not surprised at all. I was like, yeah.
Don't think anyone was.
I feel like there's just usually in Survivor, if you're telling literally everybody on your tribe, when the tribes are this big, except for the person you want to get voted out, like there is going to be a hole in that bucket. Even if it's not someone like Tiff who likes them, someone is going to see that as like a great, like, oh, I could maybe use this for my own gain. So that also, I was just like, I think, like, why are we painting with such a wide brush? Be more surgical.
Yeah, completely agree.
And someone who's being very surgical and very, some may describe as invasive, is Rizzo, who is asking all the tough questions and having Charlie reminisce about his lost game in 46, asking if he and Maria talk anymore. We do know that Charlie and Maria have not spoken since, that time on the island. So it's a no, but Rizzo's really trying to get in with Charlie and gives him information. Ollie, remind me what information he gives here? How the Boomerang idol works?
Yeah.
How that all works. Yeah. I thought he won Charlie over, except here's the thing. Charlie did not like one thing that Rizzo said. Ollie, if you can remind us.
So who was your number one ally? Oh, Sophie Bilardi. Oh, and you voted for it at the end, right?
Nope.
Oh my.
So, yeah, not good. Not good. My read though was like, I took this because I think at this point they don't know that Savannah has gone home. And so my read on this was that Rizzo, who I actually think Savannah was his number one, like we see throughout the season, it's actually him and Savannah. I think in saying that Sophie was his number one, he was trying to protect him and Savannah from so that they could be able to like work together down the line.
Yep.
So that was my read on this, was that Rizzo still thought Savannah was in the game and that there was a potential that they could end up on a tribe together, right? Because this is before the swap, or is this after the swap?
This is after the swap.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Then why did he do that?
I was mistaken.
So, yeah.
Wow, Jay, thank you so much.
No it makes no sense, but I can kind of get what you mean, Sophie, in the sense of like they don't. It is true. Like maybe he didn't want to show how close he was to Savannah, but
right.
I do feel like saying who were you closest with on the island and who was your number one could maybe, I mean, Sophie, you may know this more, could be two potentially conflicting things, because you could be really close with someone, but this person could be like your number one strategically, which like Savannah was. I mean, we never saw the edit. Like we didn't see everything that was said here. Like we don't know if like Rizzo explained it, but what we do know is Rizzo sat there and was like, yeah, I'm closest to Sophie and I didn't vote for her. So I don't know.
Now,
I thought it was really bad.
With the context that this is after Savannah goes home, I have no idea why Rizzo said this. To be honest, I thought it was funny when he was asking Charlie about Maria, but like I don't know why he would have. Yeah, I can't really understand why he would have tried to distance himself. Like, I just don't see any gain from this strategically.
Yeah. And especially if he didn't even consider that Charlie would have the reaction that Charlie did, which, I mean, is fair, right? Like when you're talking like this, you don't expect someone to take it like that intensely. But I agree with you that there was really no point in disguising, what happened on 49 Now. However, I'll also say my whole thing was, I think where he also made a mistake was he built up to the I did not vote for my best friend by saying how amazing Sophie was at the game. And, oh, she was so great. She was so amazing. And then, I think if he were like, yeah, but Savannah at the end of the day did play the better game that I should have voted for. Like that's how I was thinking about it. I don't think he was clear enough about that.
That might be a casualty of edit. Like maybe that was there, that was cut out to help explain this drama. But I think like I think if the order is right, that he heard Charlie be like, no, I have not spoken to Maria since then. And then he said this, like a little bit of EQ that like, okay, that beef is very real. They have not gotten over it. Probably a sensitive topic. And maybe I should tread lightly over like, not betraying my ally and voting for somebody else. Because I don't quite know if I believe that Sophie was Rizzo's number one, but regardless, like I would have been a little bit more careful with Charlie around this topic.
Yeah, I would not have reached this at all. I'd have just been like, Charlie, you were great. Even if I thought Kenzie deserved
Maria. The win. Yeah.
Well, we're going to jump over to the immunity challenge now. And by the way, Sophie, casualty of the edit, I love that. I'm going to start using that, please.
Yeah, take it as you will.
I will. So this Survivor 50 fun challenge, yay, obstacle course, great. Ollie, you love talking about the challenges way more than I do. Is there anything you wanted to mention about it?
I loved that this was kind of I know we've seen it in the new era, but this does feel like a classic Survivor challenge to me. Like blindfolded, one person's got to like command the rest of their tribe. Someone is gonna have their ego or pride or never regions hurt, which is going to be funny. It wasn't this time; it was their head. So that was quite funny. But yeah, this is for me. I just love seeing the challenges because it just looks fun. I mean, Sophie, you challenge beast. I don't think you did this style challenge, did you?
No, we did not do a blindfold challenge. We did practice at one of my tribes. And I am so glad that we didn't, because I would want to go all out and I would probably be one of the blindfolded ones. Or actually with this one, because I can do a puzzle, maybe I would have been a caller, which I would have preferred. But that just seems honestly so scary, the idea to like run and literally not be able to see. And then at the end, when they finished and like Camilla's tribe finished and everybody who was not doing the puzzle had to keep their blindfold on, I was like, that's cruel and unusual punishment. Like, I'm sure there was some rule that somebody thought of for cheating reasons or something, but like watching them like try to like hug each other and like congratulate each other while being blindfolded was so funny.
I didn't understand the point of that. I'm glad you brought that up because it was something that I clocked too. But maybe it was so that they couldn't yell out orders or other things, which
right. Or maybe if like the puzzle ended up being wrong and Jeff was like, no, you got to go back. Like there wasn't any of that. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. I will say something that I did learn during this is maybe it's not necessarily who can give the best directions, but whose voice can carry is something that I was like, oh, I never really considered that to be it. Like we saw Camilla do a fantastic job, and I think her voice was like carrying so well.
Totally. And I don't know if that came across on screen, but I've since learned that it comes across on podcasts when I blow out my mic. So I'm trying really hard to keep my voice within range, but like I am very loud, so that I've always been like, I could just yell. But yeah, maybe they better. Hopefully I'll play again and I'll get to do one of these as the caller.
Okay, if you're the caller, great. If you're blindfolded, be careful of your head.
Yes.
And your audio's been sounding great. So
excellent. Love that.
The only tribe to not win is this tribe.
Vaatu.
Thank you. Vaatu. And Mike White just gets right into it and says, I'm probably going to vote you, Steph. And okie doke. That's that.
I loved it.
I thought so too.
Yeah,
it's like one of those things where it's kind of just like, all right, get the ball rolling. But he also had a different idea in mind, which I also liked. He was always going to try to blindside Q. So fun, Mike White.
I understood though why when he explained it, like I did understand why he wanted to go for Q, because I mean, we did see it in 46. If you wrong Q, that man's coming after you, and like he's going to be canceling every single holiday you love close to your heart. So it's like I understood why, because like to Q's credit, like he has, I think this season he's really done well at commanding like his tribe, but not in such an overpowering way that people get annoyed. And I mean, plus he hasn't tried to quit every time. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's also good.
I agree. I think Q is the right move. What's funny about Mike White is I have no idea if this is actually how he's playing, but to me, he seems like, you know, he's so successful at this point. And I mean, he was successful the first time he played because School of Rock, like massive hit. But like this is like not just a massive hit. White Lotus is not, it's now this cultural phenomenon that I feel like he's just like truly having fun. Like he is not preoccupied with his Survivor legacy or like how he played previously in the way that a lot of other players are. And so I think because of that, he's fun to watch because he's doing things like this where he's just like, I'm voting you stuff. But it's also like, I feel like it's like freeing him up. Like it's letting him, just play what I'm like, wow, he's so fun to watch. I feel like he could go really far because he's like not in his own way. And I think there are a lot of people on this beach that like are getting in their own way because they're just overthinking how they used to play. Genevieve, Emily, and their Angelina, and they're letting that guide them instead of kind of letting what's happening on the beach drive their decisions. And so this whole thing, like, I feel like Mike White is not being clocked the way I'm clocking him. As like, wow, I feel like he could go really far, and he's just kind of having fun with it.
He definitely feels very present, like absolutely just there and doing his thing. So, I mean, I agree with you. I really, really love that take. Why don't we take a very quick break because Ollie asked for it, and then we will be right back. Which commercial do I go with? We're gonna go this one. That wasn't a commercial. Give me one.
Commercial. That was 10 seconds.
I'm new here. Ollie, you choose it.
God, yeah. We're going to hear from Bracketology.
Yay. Welcome to Bracketology, fantasy sports for reality TV. We run fantasy football and bracket-style games for some of your favorite reality TV shows, Survivor included. Here's a quick tutorial on how you can play for free or play to win potentially some cash prizes. Our free-to-play season-long leagues operate just like fantasy football. You're going to want to play Bracketology with friends. You can create a league, make it public or private, or join one of our many partner public leagues. We even have a fantasy football-specific style game called the Advanced Game. We have 2 weekly elimination-style games, Confidence Pool and Week to Week. Our last game is a first impression bracket. Make your picks of who you think will get eliminated at each tribal all the way down to the winner. New daily prediction pools. You can enter a pool with bucks. Once won from our pool contests are redeemable for real cash prizes. Shout out to the Survivor Now crew. They've been supporting us from the beginning. Download the Bracketology app for free in the App Store. Thank you, Survivor Now, and thank you everyone for participating.
Now, I have to say, even though I really botched that transition, it is a great reminder to watch Survivor Social, which happens on Thursdays, the day after, we all know, the episode airs. So with that, let's move on to some more side conversations. We have the David versus Goliath. This crew magically ended up on the same tribe. That was very fun. Ollie, I do sort of forget the details of these next two, if you want to read these.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, this one, it is mainly the fact that obviously they were deciding that they're going to say Steph, but do Q. And then Angelina is still worried about Emily. She's kind of not 100% on her and kind of just having to blind trust her within a day. But then the next slide, it is Emily and Ozzy. Oh, sorry. And they're kind of in this swing position and they're kind of deciding where they want to go. And it seems like Ozzy is very much wanting to stay loyal to Q and Steph. And it's because of a physical element. He wants to stay true to them, obviously for the Q, because he trusts Q more, but he really nails and kind of goes more so on the physical aspects of things. And we kind of see Emily kind of be on board with it, but we know later on she's kind of like, no, never mind. But yeah, this was interesting to me because Ozzy really kind of was going for an old school approach. Like he was like this keep the tribe strong mentality.
That was my read too. And when he said that to Emily, who I don't view as like a particularly strong challenge player, I was like, she's not going to go for this, because then she's like, okay, if you want to keep Q, who's good in challenges, and I am not, how do you then feel about me? And so, yeah, my read on this was like, Ozzy is doing that old school, keep the tribe strong, which I don't think necessarily, I don't know. I'm curious what the consensus is on whether that matters anymore. I feel like we definitely see in the 3-tribe format, one tribe just get like absolutely decimated, but like almost to a point where like there's nothing they could have done, like on my season, like Kelly was voting out what you would have like classified as the weaker challenge folk, and they were still losing. So I don't necessarily know if like this is the panacea that those tribes who are losing need, because these survivor challenges are not just brute physical strength in the tribe format, like later in individual immunity for sure. So I have kind of a problem with that just being Ozzy's theory in general. And I also just think like, yeah, Emily is not the person to say that to. Like maybe say that to, I'm trying to even think who on their tribe is like a physical force. Aside from Q and Ozzy, it's not really anybody. Yes, maybe Steph.
Mike did great in the last couple of challenges. He could be included
He's
in that.
now. He's ripped now.
But I feel like we have to remember, Angelina wasn't the reason they lost this challenge. So that's the part that I find really funny, where he's like, tribe strength and all this. I'm like, well, Angelina wasn't the reason you lost. I'm like, actually, it was you two and Christian. So if we want to talk about that. But
look, I will never enjoy the we got to keep the tribe strong strategy. I don't think it ever really works. And that's that. But, another strategy that does not work is telling someone to write your name. Which, listen, only Q, only Q could do this. And I would be like, okay, obviously he doesn't know that is exactly what Mike wants, but he's trying to protect Steph, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Do you know why? It is because he knows that he can't quit and ask everyone to vote him out. So
I forgot about that.
Instead he's just going to say, vote for me, Mike. Just vote for me to protect my ally. He doesn't want to say quit this season. So he's trying to change it up. I know that's a load of BS, but I just wanted to pull Q's leg.
I mean, it is crazy to me that that somebody who has said quit so many times is back for 50, although I love Q and I love watching him play, but like I'm like, CBS, you really gambled with that. But so I wouldn't be surprised if there is a contract in writing that he is not allowed to say QUIT. But I agree. I feel like the vote for me is such a bizarre strategy, because you are essentially saying that like, I feel so comfortable, I'm chilling, I know that's not going to mean anything, and I'm not vulnerable, which is like really showing where you feel in the game, and I think really opens yourself up, and that's what we see happen. Like Q essentially told Mike White, like, I don't even think I'm even like on the chopping block tonight. Like I'm sitting pretty. Like that's how confident I am. I'm just worried that maybe Steph will go home, and that's a great opportunity to blindside somebody.
Plus, he doesn't have a vote.
No.
And then apparently he magically has an extra vote, which I'm
that
like,
was funny. That was funny.
That was funny.
That was. I was just like, Quintavious, this is too chaotic, but too funny at the same time.
Honestly, I think he sold it. Funny. I think he did a good job.
I was impressed. I was impressed with that bluffing ability. I was like, damn, that is like, I was like, oh my gosh, what if he pulls this off? Like that would be incredible. But alas,
it did not come through. Ollie, did something important happen in this conversation? Or I feel like we talked about that a lot.
Yeah, no, this was where Emily was like, no, let's definitely do Q and then Angelina, and Ozzy was still doing his keep the tribe strong BS.
I love that sweater. Anyway,
I know.
Good sweater.
it's a good sweater.
Cute.
Well, let's get to tribal council and fun times. Fire makes everyone look so good. The light from the fire, everyone looks so good at tribal council.
I agree. Tribal, everyone looks great. I will say, I don't quite understand what the theme of like the tribal council set is this season, but I'm sure someone knows. But I agree. Everyone is looking great. And I also like I feel like one of the things as a player in the new era that you don't usually see, and I felt blindsided by, was like how hard it is physically to be on Survivor in terms of starving and like lack of sleep. Because in the old era, I feel like we saw a lot of like camp life and we saw a lot of that struggle. And in the new era, they kind of just erased that from the edit. It's not that it doesn't happen. And so when I was going out there, I was like, oh, starving doesn't seem that bad. Like they are competing, like, it seems like it's fine, whatever. I know how to diet, blah, blah, blah. And so I really like, I loved the whole like Mike White, Chris, them all talking about just how hard it is. Because yeah, you don't usually get to see that. So that was just like a little aside about this tribal, where as a player, I was like, wow, I'm glad that like it's not just me being weak. Like Mike White also feels really, really hungry day 7 and is like, why the hell am I here?
For a second, I thought you were going to say how hard it is to sit on those stools.
Oh, that too. And you're like, I don't want to hunch over because that's not a good angle. Like to try to sit up straight on like a backless chair in today's digital age, when I'm so used to like being hunched over a screen, so hard. And tribal is long. So yeah, it's an uncomfortable. I don't know why they don't. Actually, I think it's mic packs. I was like, I don't know why they don't give us backs to our seats, but it's I'm sure it's very reasonable. And that there's a mic pack back there.
If you're wearing mic packs, it's absolutely so uncomfortable to lean that anyway, and they don't want to damage it. So
no,
all good.
Stools.
It is what it is. I think they try to like make you pretend they're like tree stumps or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun. Ollie, does anything stick out to you in this tribal council?
No,
pretty standard.
I feel like Sophie kind of hit the nail on the head with most of it. So yeah.
Well, we do have to say goodbye to Q. It was a shocking elimination to Steph. She had a big reaction. Q, I'm so happy that he didn't go as far as he did here, but I'm happy that Q is on the season because to me, he didn't necessarily need a redemption from his last season the way that many people would think he would. I just think he's so funny and so made for television that I was happy to see him here. And I think he overall is better well received here on 50.
I mean,
totally agree.
Yeah. I mean, I can confirm that since I was not a big Q fan during Voice 6. And I actually was like, do you know what? I could get behind this Q at 50. Like 50 Q. Well done. I mean, like you said, could have gone further, but oh well.
Yeah, 50Q, I think +1 to all of the above. Just so, great TV, funny, like having fun out there. Just, I feel like he would have, I just feel like he would have stirred up some fun drama. So yeah, I do feel like gone too soon. There are plenty of other people who I'm like, I don't necessarily think you're adding much. You can go. But he wasn't one of them. So bummed to see him go. But yeah, really enjoyed his time on 50.
Would you like to say names?
Oh yeah, like I don't need I'm like I feel like some of the 50 casting is interesting because you have some just crazy like the Ciries, the Ozzies, the Colbys, the coach, who are just legends. And then from the new era, there are just like some people, like I'll be honest, Emily, I don't think I'm enjoying watching her play, but like I don't think I necessarily needed her back. Or Tiff, who again, loved on 46, but wasn't like someone who I'm like, oh my God, they're going to give me such great TV. Whereas like Charlie, I feel like I am like, he is almost having like a little bit of a Mike White where I'm seeing way more of his personality come through, and it's just like fun, good TV. And yeah, like unfortunately Stephanie and Chrissy, I'm like, you guys are great, but like you're not really adding much. Like I'm as a fan now, I'm here for the tea, I'm here for the drama. I want like crazy fun things. I don't want somebody to just be fulfilling their personal survivor dream. You know, like now I'm on this other side and I demand entertainment. So that's kind of where I'm sitting.
I mean, it's no surprise. I overall just think that this is a very new era leaning cast, which for a season like this, you know, we've been over the casting thing a bunch of times. But you know what? I got to say, from what these people are bringing to this season so far, the votes have been a little anticlimactic. I'll give it that. And the scramble around for the most part. But that being said, I am enjoying some of the fun. Hey, there's a fake idol hidden somewhere near the fire.
Love that.
Great times, right? And Ollie, I believe that you also have been having a fun time looking at social media posts. So now I hand it over to you, my friend, for The Tribe is Posted. What do you got?
Yeah, The Tribe is Posted. So for those of you that are new here, hi. I like to scour social media because I like to be a nosy bugger. So I literally go look at X, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, LinkedIn, you name it. I probably looked at it just to see what each of the castaways have like given us, if they've given us any tea, if they've given us any reminiscence. There we go. But yeah, so to start off with, we spoke about it. Well, I kind of spoke about it. Cirie and Rizzo, they had their little moment being like, hey, I saw you at a casting 8 years ago. There's the proof. And CBS did actually make a cute little reel about it. So I would say go look at that because it's quite cute. But yeah, the difference 8 years makes. I mean, Rizzo kind of still
none
looks
to
the
Cirie.
same. No.
It was like
not to Cirie.
Ageless.
No. She still looks like a queen. I mean, Rizzo's still kind of got his baby face. It just looks like he's like gained more hair. Like that's literally it for Rizzo. But moving on, we have this cute little duo because Aubrey and Tiffany were showing each other some love on social media. You see it there. Aubrey says, every time a bell rings, Tiffany gets another pair of wings, which I just found was really cute because Tiffany in 46 had her person in Kenzie, and we saw their dynamic on social media. So I'm intrigued to see if this is kind of what occurs now. We see more love between Aubrey and Tiffany. Because when Tiffany has an ally and like is close, like you will see it on social media. And then we have the honor and integrity people were really happy about the tribe swap. Yay. This was just them showing that this was the best tribe swap in the world, but that was the best tribe swap for them. But literally all of them, like all three of the boys, made a point to be like, yes, for honor and integrity. But these are just some of the posts that came up. And then we have this. So this one is from Stephanie, one is from Angelina. They're both Insta stories. So Angelina did a little Q&A and be like, ask some questions. So one of the questions that was asked, well, were you that lazy? And she clarifies to say, no, I was working my butt off. And I would make sure that I was always working. And maybe there was a 20-minute period where I was sat down. And then this one from Stephanie points out where they were sat down on those logs for so long, her bum still feels numb. Stephanie Q, how dare you go to Angelina and tell her she's lazy, and then the next week mention how many times you were sat on those logs having a lovely time. Do you know what, Q? There's a reason you got your torch snuffed. No, I'm joking. Love you, really. But yeah, I saw this and I was like, because I remembered what happened last week, and I was like, how did they're dogging on these people? Well, they were always sat down, apparently, having a lovely time on the logs. So, clock that tea.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the good stuff.
This is why I scour social media, because I would find something and I'm like, do you remember when this happened 4 episodes ago? Contradicts that. It's great. It's great. It's so funny what people forget in a week. But speaking of Angelina, this was more Angelina stuff. Angelina gave us tea this week. The middle one is getting the band back together. And then this one on the left was talking about pre-gaming because the question was asked, like, did you really not know they wanted to get you out? And she talks about how a group of people were allegedly called the Zoom group because they got on Zoom together and pre-gamed and made an alliance and talked about how much Angelina pre-gamed, even though they all pre-gamed. And I have tea, and I know who the 2 worst people were for pre-gamers.
Are you going to say it?
Charlie and Stephanie. And this is from a source. I'm not revealing my.
Is it alleged? Are you saying allegedly?
It is alleged.
Okay.
I'll tell
Gotta cover our bases.
Alleged. But yes, allegedly, those were the 2 biggest pre-gamers. But yeah, she calls out that there was a whole Zoom people, and then she points out to John Lovett. It's quite funny to say John Lovett, who was not a contestant on season 50, had my favorite social media moment. This is at the RHAP live event, and he talks about kind of the perception of things where, you have people and you have women, and people will get annoyed about women. Trust me, go watch this thing from John Lovett. It is quite funny, but also you kind of see the relevance. And Angelina talks about it, but she's not the only one, because Chrissy also mentions it. And this is a big spiel on her social media, her Insta story about it. Just talk, because what John Lovett was talking about was the response to Coach and Chrissy. And she does show Coach some love and just says, like, she appreciated everything Coach had said. She understood it, like there's no malice there, and that there's all love. So just to confirm, Coach and Chrissy are great. There's no bad blood there.
Even the episode, I thought the episode made it clear, right? Like, whatever, it is what it is. But I thought Chrissy walked away from that being like, it's fine.
Yeah, I know, but you know, some people on social media.
Oh, I do. By the way, I would like to throw out an accusation of pre-gaming for Rizzo and Savannah, who literally, technically, just did pre-game.
They pre-gamed.
Just like the whole season.
26 days of it.
Yeah.
Imagine.
What else, Ollie?
So we've got some fun ones here. A couple from Camilla talking about how she was able to lead all of her ducks to the win. And then also she was shouting out Survivor CBS's post where they had actual comments from people on the episode. And then Angelina confirming that the tribe swap was random. And then here is some love for Q. You have Coach and Stephanie both sending their love towards Q being voted out. For those of you that don't know, Coach is doing an ode to the fallen warriors each episode. He does it on social media, so clock his Insta stories for it. I do just have to say one thing, though, because it's the far right one. And he says, all the fans wanted it, but it could have just been from this first day. Just to confirm, Coach, he's referring to the fact that clearly all the fans wanted him, Ozzy, and Q to work together. No. Sorry, just wanted to double check and make sure it's not all the fans. I didn't want it, but that's here, not there. I'm just being shady. And then finally, it is Q. He sends his love out there. He's thankful for everyone sending him all the messages and love. And then he does also have an Instagram post giving his little shout out to Survivor 50 and stuff. So go like it, go comment on it, go send him some love. But he is very grateful for the opportunity. Okay. We do have one more thing, though. We do polls on X. Yes, it's the polls. So we post polls on X after the episode on Thursdays for everyone to vote on, and then we share the results here. We've got 3 polls, and these ones for me, I enjoyed these ones. I can't wait for the first one. I feel like we're all going to agree on it. But What did you think of Jeff's rap? The options are: we didn't vote for this, epic, amazing, so good, it was okay, and Chris Noble 2.0.
Oh, I'm kind of torn between Chris Noble 2.0 and we didn't vote for this.
I think we didn't vote for this.
You think that's what majority said, Sophie?
Yeah.
You would be absolutely right. 61% said we didn't vote for this. I would like to talk to the 6% that said it was epic, amazing, and so good.
Jeff, stop hiding. You can tell us.
Yeah. Seems like burner.
It was all a Jeff's burner account.
Yeah.
So the second poll was whose baggage from their previous season is coming back to haunt them this season? Is it Chrissy, Aubrey, Angelina, or Charlie?
I think Charlie seems the heaviest, I'm say.
Also going to go with Charlie.
You're going to go with Charlie. Okay. Before I reveal, I will say one person didn't receive a single vote. So I'm also asking who didn't receive a single vote?
Maybe
Angelina?
Aubrey.
So you're
Aubrey?
saying...
I think Aubrey.
I think Angelina.
I can tell you one of you is right. Angelina didn't get any votes, but Charlie did get 71%. Yeah, this was kind of a clean sweep. I love Inu in the chat going, Joe. I mean, that's also true. That is also true. I should have put Joe as an option. That would have spiced it up a bit. But the final poll is, would you ever tell someone to throw a vote on yourself to protect your number one?
Mm-mm.
So
if I had an idol, but then no, like that it's a weird thing to say to someone.
Agreed.
Well,
it's a no.
Well, apparently not to Q, but Q is in the minority on this, with 77% saying no votes for me, thanks. But those were the polls. Just a reminder, go follow us on X at Survivor Now Pod, because that's where we post these polls. So you can have your say, have your vote, and we will always do that every week. But that was The Tribe is Posted. I cannot wait to see what other dramas we get next week.
Aw, Ollie, thank you so much for taking us through all of that. It's always great to see what social media can bring to all of us in this day and age. Sophie, I just wanted to thank you again so much for taking the time to go through this episode with us. We had so much fun with you.
Thank you for having me. This was great. And like, it's just so fun to be on the fan side of things. Also for like what is turning out to be, I agree, predictable votes, but like fun drama tea. I think we're going to start to see some spiciness down the line.
Well, look, I hope that you enjoy the rest of the season. There are many things that Survivor Now podcast is doing throughout the week. As you all know, we have our shows on Wednesday, our shows on Thursday, Friday, there's the show. Sunday, there's a show. There's a lot of shows, but we're also covering Australian Survivor. So if you're watching that, we do not only the recap episodes like we did today, but we also do exit interviews with the cast when they are eliminated. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you subscribe, and we will see you next week for another Got Something For Ya.